Hi. All right, so we're gonna make dal today. One of my friends isn't feeling well, she's feeling under the weather. So I'm making her dal, which is good for anti-inflammation, good blood circulation, and we're gonna have some key ingredients. So that pause was, I'm like, am I gonna use measurements like that? Hey, welcome. All right, so to start, I'm going to use about 2 cups of already rinsed off lentils, red lentils. Sorry guys. The show must go on. Okay, boom, there we go. So we got the lentils, and then water. And what I like about these are they cook quickly. So while these are cooking, so about 3 parts water, 1 part lentils. So they cook quickly. I'm back. And they will cook while I'm making all the vegetables that are going to go into it. Another thing is kind of the way you would season water for spaghetti. I'm going to season the lentils. So I'm going to season with a little bit of cayenne pepper, like literally a pinch, because I'm making this for someone else and they might not want it as spicy. But I'm going to give her some spices on the side in case she wants to spice it up. So there's that. Hey, Jeremy! And so I'm also going to add some ground cumin. So this is about a teaspoon. Now I added the ground cumin because that can just really flow into the flavoring of the water easily. Hey, Mr. LaRoche! Miss you! And so then, let's see. I had some coriander. Maybe not. We'll see about that. Then I have turmeric. And turmeric is a big anti-inflammatory ingredient. So I'm going to just put about, I would say, a few shakes. So about 1/4 of a teaspoon into the lentils that are cooking. And this is again kind of a reminder the way you flavor and infuse your spaghetti. It's a similar theme. Alright, now while that is doing that, I'm going to start the fire on the second pot, which is where I'm going to saute all the vegetables. Hi! And start with the aromatics. Aromatics are basically the thing that smells good. So onions, garlic, and ginger. That's what it's going to be for this one. Onions, garlic, and ginger. Saute that with some rapeseed oil. Alright. Now, the plan for this is you get the beans cooking and you saute the veggies. By the time the beans are about 3/4 of the way done, the veggies are going to be pretty well cooked. Then you add them in combined, boil them together, and that helps to cut down time and make it more efficient. Now I've already previously cut up the carrots, the celery, the onions, shredded the garlic, so we're in a pretty good position. Now I'm using a garlic press for my garlic. You might chop your garlic. Quite fine. But I really like making sure that the flavors come out. And so for that reason, I will say crush the garlic instead of chopping it up. I will shred the ginger instead of chopping it up so that we can get more of the flavor as well as pulling out a lot of the health benefits. I'm going to turn this fire on medium. This is getting kind of excited. And this, for the lentils, the red lentils, I have it on high because I want it to come to a boil. ASAP. Okay? So far the ingredients we've used are red lentils, garlic. I'm gonna put in the ginger as well. Then I also have thyme. And a little thing I do is when I use the thyme, it's a little prickly as opposed to like other spices. So I'll like squeeze it and like do that. That's what I do. It's starting to smell real good. So I'm adding a little bit of water because I don't want this garlic to burn. And so we have thyme, garlic, now we have onion, now we have some ginger. Actually, we have a lot of ginger. And then you saw how I put in cumin earlier. Now I'm going to use whole cumin seed, and I'm going to use my mortar and pestle to crush it. And that's because, think about it this way. So the cumin is holding in, I am kind of chefy a little bit. Yeah, you're funny. So think of it as the flavors being held in, then when you crush it, you're like letting it free. And so when you're letting it free, you're doing that in the sauteed veggies. Imagine if you put the whole cumin seed or the lightly broken cumin seed into the beans, right? The beans wouldn't be able to fully absorb the impact. Another thing is, think about the impact of spices sauteed in oil versus spices just put into water. So that's kind of the idea around crushing up whole cumin seeds. Arm workout. Okay. And down. Smell real powerful. Okay. So, can't very slow. So yeah, I'm going to continue to bring this down. And you know what I might think, what I might do is, I'm going to cook these until they're translucent, till the onions are translucent, and then I might just add them into the pot and then do the carrots and the celery, just because I have a little constraint of pot size. Okay. So he's looking really good. And I made a mistake. I didn't put that on high. So it's taking its time. So it is now on high, and this one is on medium. But the whole idea is that these get to cook while you cook your veggies. Then you combine them, boil for about 10 to 15 more minutes, and you have a meal. And let's see. Actually, so in this pot, let's see, we have black rice and brown rice. So it's still a little like tough. So I'm turning the fire back on high. This isn't part of the, like your goal is when you get done, you know how to make dal. The rice will have to be cooked. So I'm just adding some water. And I'm gonna let that come to a boil again. Ooh, my eyes. Okay. These are looking really good and translucent. Oops, sorry. Angles. Ah, that's better. Yeah. Okay. So now that is cooked down, and it was one pretty large onion, and it was 3 large knobs of ginger, because it's wintertime, it's cold. I'm being very deliberate in this version of dal. I'm adding more ginger to help with her breathing and help her to recover better. So I think what I like about this dish, this is what I like about this dish, is you can hide so many ingredients in this dish that can be so healing. And it's kind of difficult to mismeasure. So the use of cumin, it's like, man, you can't really have too much cumin. So that's another thing. I didn't add it into the onions, but you could if you had. I'm gonna add it the next round with some oil and the carrots and celery that I have chopped up. So you can see, if you can see, it's starting to boil, and that's a good thing. So we don't have to be here all day because we don't have time for that at the moment. So let's see. I'm gonna go see if I can find some coriander or a buck. Just going over there. Now that was very quick. Well, thank goodness I'm not ashy, it's just that. But now that I found the coriander, I'm gonna add that in there too. Hi, welcome. We're cooking dal. So this is boiling and I'm so excited. So I'm a little crazy, we'll be done. So I'm just gonna let that keep boiling on high. Because this is another thing. I like to cook things on high because I get impatient and I want things to get done. But sometimes things just need time. You need to cook it on medium. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I am here. I can watch it. So I'm cooking it on high. Now, let's get back to finishing the veggies. So we've already put the lentils in water, added a pinch of cayenne pepper, some turmeric, some cumin. I'm actually, now that I found the coriander, I'm gonna add it in. And when I post this, I'll include the measurements and all the ingredients so you guys can do it yourself. And then you can also modify it. So the original recipe that I created for everyone is one where you can taste it out and be like, you know what, I like more coriander, I like more cumin, but at least you'll have all the building blocks to get the dish together. So I have found the coriander, and now similar to the way you flavor your spaghetti, I'm gonna put that in because I want that to be one of the flavors that has really sunk into the beans. Because think about if you have a dish, right, and you bite into one part and it's not seasoned, it's like, dang it, you know? Yeah, no. Okay, I'm looking at the right. It's doing its job, it's doing its job. Okay, so I'm turning this fire back on. And we're gonna finish up the veggies. So I'm adding some oil. And this is the delightful part where you get to add in the cumin that has been cracked or a little broken up, as opposed to cumin powder. Okay, this is about a teaspoon and a half. See? This smells all good and stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna enjoy it smelling good and stuff, but not for too long. We're gonna add in the veggies so it doesn't burn. So I added in about a cup of carrots and a cup of celery. Add in as much as you want. Right off the bat, carrots are good for your sight. Celery is one of those high water content vegetables. And so it's just like, if you can tolerate more, look, I'm adding more water because I don't want it to burn. I'm adding more water instead of oil. Is this called deglazing? Anyone feel free to correct me. Yeah, so adding that in, cooking it up. But yeah, so I'm adding in carrots and celery. I'm sauteing them down. I've added in oil as well as cumin. It started with full cumin seed, but I broke it down because I just really love the idea of sauteing your spices a little bit, and then you know, as opposed to throwing them all in the pot. I just feel like they'll have a different taste, you know, in the end. I don't feel like I know you will. Welcome. We're cooking dal. So I'm gonna cook this, and honestly, I think the rice needs to top. Yeah, it does. Ooh, look at this. Okay, so the lentils started out as these great organic red lentils and like little flat pebbles. And now they have expanded. Let's do this. And so also another thing is the water, like the lentils have, okay, we're back. The water has mostly been absorbed by the lentils. So now in this case, this is another little nugget. Hydration is huge and really important. And this also has to do with your preference. Do you like stews or do you like soups, like watery, more of a soup or broth? So at this point, I would determine whether you want more of a stew or a soupy flavor or consistency. And so I'm going to add in more water because the lentils are going to continue to soak up. Turn this fire down. I'm turning on this fire. This one I'm going to let keep raging on. I'm going to add in more water so that the lentils can continue to absorb more of the water. Absorb more of the water. And also when it chills, it'll kind of be in a more solidified form. And so that's another thing to consider. So for this one, I'm going to add in, we've already added in cracked cumin. Now I'm going to add in, what's this one? Powdered cumin, as well as powdered coriander. And I always add in more cumin than I do coriander. So in this recipe, I would say I add in about 2 tablespoons of cumin and half a tablespoon or a tablespoon of coriander. Okay. Now I want to emphasize the key ingredients. The key ingredients are turmeric to help with inflammation, the ginger, which is already in there, which helps with kind of decongesting. So if you're having trouble, if you have like bronchitis or something like that, it'll contribute to that and help you breathe better. Also garlic helps with circulation as well. And then cayenne pepper, another one that helps with circulation. And then thyme, another great spice when you're cooking vegetables, and that helps with better breathing during these cold months when we're getting a little sicker more easily. So these look heck dehydrated, right? Let's give them some more water. Okay. Sorry. I want to add in some salt. And I like salt, but it's okay to not add in a lot of salt if you don't like it. So I am being restrained right now. But these vegetables are looking really good, and I think it's about time to add them into the pot of the lentils and soup. And that is gauged by kind of how tender carrots are. I would say actually that's not right, because I would say about the celery. So when the celery starts to look a little clearer. Come on, give me an angle, give me an angle, give me an angle. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Okay, a little translucent. Okay. So that would be what I gauge. That's about ready to be added in. Because the carrots are going to still need time to cook. But you don't want it, I just don't want it to be too mushy. Okay. So I'm adding in there. And now, this is looking pretty thick. I'm going to show you what thick looks like. Okay. So you see how that's like thicker? Actually, you can't see. This is not accurate. but it's like that. And there is about 1/4 of an inch separating the top of the water from the lentils. Whereas before, it was more of like 2 or 3 inches. So it's really like, lentils are really soaking it all up. So now that we have the spices in, we have the veggies combined, and now they're in. I want to stir this together. Taste it a little bit. I'm guessing it's going to be really gingery, but that's because that's what she needs right now. Yep, it's pretty gingery. Really yummy. I need to add on more turmeric. I like to add in about a tablespoon of turmeric at minimum. After about, just kidding. After about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons, you start to taste it. And so this combined is about a tablespoon altogether. So it's not going to be annoying for her. And then it's getting thicker, so I'm going to add about just some more water. I'll keep the proportions in the video so you guys know. But I'm going to just let this continue to cook down, as well as allowing for the flavors to come together. Alright, and then we'll put it all together with some rice. And so you'll have like the rice on the bottom and the lentils on top. I'll take a picture and post that after. But that's what it is, and that is, all jokes aside, one of the most important dishes that I find it just like it's kind of one of those dishes like you gotta know how to cook. You know what I mean? Especially if you might get sick or if you need something that's easy, really affordable. Like lentils, how much were these? Oh, okay, the price is gone. It was about $2.50 or not even $3 for at least 2 cups of lentils. And then carrots, celery, and onions are usually really affordable. You can grab some ginger and garlic. And then I get my spices in bulk. And this is about, so this is the cumin that's ground, and this is about $1.20 for a small container. This is about a cup. And then you add with rice. So this is really, really helpful. Helps with increased circulation, reducing inflammation. So if this were for me, this would be really great so that I'm making sure I'm keeping, taking care of my joints, because I like to go running. I like to try out different workouts. And so say I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do burpees or something. And it's like, yeah, my knees are crazy the next day. Having turmeric in your diet, like this is a great way to tuck it in, because you can easily just say you have this in the fridge, for the week, because it will last at least a week. And then you can just take out a scoop or a cup or so, and then you'll have it. Hey Sandra, we're cooking dal today. I'm cooking for one of my friends who is feeling a little under the weather. But yeah, so you can have this dish and put it in the fridge and be able to, pull upon it. So you have something that helps with reducing inflammation, it tastes good, and it's easy to get to. Another trick with soups is I like to freeze my soups flat. Then I'll just break off a piece and eat it as you go. So maybe you have a favorite chili, maybe you have a favorite, for me it's black bean soup or lentils. Those are like, I always have them. And you can just break off a piece and go on about your day busy. So that is that. I will post what it looks like when done, but this is going to be cooking for about 5 to 10 more minutes. And I hope you guys have a great one. It's a Friday. How awesome is that? All right, peace, Lillian.